Hey, Kaseydamato, president of Certified PA Consulting. How's everybody doing? Welcome to this episode of our Town Hall video series. Certified PA Consulting, we are a consultancy agency. We've been around since 2009. We are a collective group of PAs. We help PAs, NPs, and physicians understand professional issues related to our industry. So professional issues related to our personal careers. So that can be salary, contract, navigating career changes, questions related to starting a business as a PA or NP, questions related to switching to a non-clinical career, starting side hustles, navigating all of these questions that are not taught to us in PA school, NP school, medical school. These are things that we're just not taught about how to structure appropriate salaries, appropriate contracts, how to navigate career changes, how to find the right professional path for you as an individual. So that's what we do at Certified PA Consulting. We are certified life coaches, and we've been doing this for a very long time, helping people find the right path for them, whether it is a salary and contract review that we're helping people create the right win-win situation, whether it is navigating a career change, whether it's starting a side hustle, starting a business, and everything in between. We've got lots of resources. Today we're answering the question about what is the average salary, or what is the salary range, which is what we prefer. So this is a question that we get asked all the time, and one that we wanted to answer in a town hall video series because it's so important and so common for this question to come up. What is the average salary for a certain specialty in a certain state? Let's say this question comes up all the time. So you could technically calculate the average, right? You can add up all the people in that state, and you can add up all the salaries, you can divide by the number of people, and you can get an average number. Sure, that's true. But does that necessarily help the situation? And in our experience, not necessarily, because every single situation is unique. Every single PA and NP is unique, and every single facility or practice owner and the way the practice operates is unique. So what do I mean by that? Oh, I mean that each individual PA or NP has a certain skill set, let's say. So there's a certain type of procedures they're comfortable doing, or a certain amount of patient volume that they're comfortable with, or a certain amount of supervision that they may need depending on their earlier stage in their career or not. Now, when it comes to facilities or practices, there are some practices that have different patient volume. There are some practices that have different payer types: private insurance, cash pay, Medicaid. Maybe we're talking about government like the VA, things like that. So every single situation is completely unique. So taking an average number may or may not apply to one particular PA/NP and one particular facility, because it's really apples and oranges when we're talking about the individual PA and NP, their skill set, what they are comfortable doing, what they like to do, and their productivity and their collection capability. And also it's apples and oranges when we're looking at one facility to the next, when we're talking about low volume facilities or high, or maybe there's low staff support versus high staff support, or maybe we're talking about different payer types. So as certain types of payers, we're going to generate more collections with the same patient volume. So we like to recommend that you look at salary ranges. So not the average, but the range, because it's likely that what's appropriate for this circumstance is going to be someplace in this range. And we recommend looking in multiple sources for the range. So collecting data from salary reports. This can be the AAPA salary report. It could be a specialty salary report. We recommend getting information from places like Indeed and Glassdoor. We recommend getting information from job listings and talking to people like us, or potentially staffing agencies and things like that that have lots of our own internal data, so that you can truly understand what the true range is of salaries. Now, here's the thing. That range can be quite large. It can be quite large in an individual specialty. It's not uncommon to see salary ranges from 120 grand to $300,000. And some people are thinking about that they're thinking, how in the world could somebody get paid $300,000? And the other person that's paid 300 can think, well, I would never settle for 120,000. Well, the answer to that might be that the business model of the person that has a salary of 120,000, maybe it is a research hospital or something where they're not seeing a lot of patient volume. It's very few patients because the patients are extremely complex. So that means without as much volume, as much procedures, there isn't as much money coming in, which means that there's not as much money available to pay that PA. And the PA that's seeing that's making $300,000, that person might be seeing 50 patients a day. And some people are thinking that's impossible. It's not possible to see that many patients a day. I could never do that. Well, it is possible in some circumstances with the right staff support, with the right PA who is capable of doing that. It doesn't stress them out. It doesn't overwhelm them. And there's enough patient volume. You can actually do that and provide good quality of care. And in doing so, there's very high collections, well over the $1 million mark, in which case that can substantiate those kind of salaries. So you can see how there is such a wide range of salaries, even within the same specialty, and they can be appropriate and applicable. And that's why it's such a complicated question to answer, because looking at the average may not be relevant when we're comparing an opportunity that is a teaching facility or research facility compared to a very high productivity type of practice with a ton of staff support, a ton of resources. Those are apples and oranges. They're not the same thing. So picking one average number doesn't necessarily apply. So looking at ranges, looking and evaluating the PA and MP and what you're comfortable with as far as productivity, what you're passionate about. If you're passionate about doing things like research and being innovative on the cutting edge, spending a lot of time with each patient, really getting to know them, doing, multifaceted workup that might be a bit multi-specialty, very academic, versus the personality that likes to be busy, doesn't like to be bored, likes to keep going, really thrives on that high productivity and is completely bored if they're seeing, less than 20 patients a day. It's important to recognize in yourself what is the perfect role for you, and then research and look and seek out that right match for you, and look at those salary ranges in all of the places that I mentioned before. And then you can start navigate what is the most applicable and appropriate salary range for you. And there's different ratios that we teach people. Typically, it's going to be somewhere between 25 to 35% as the typical range of what people are paid, PAs and MPs, compared to their general collections. There's some exceptions to that. It might be a little bit lower, a little bit higher, but in most business models, something in that range is going to make sense as far as the total compensation plan. Even if you're not paid on productivity alone, you have a base salary plus a bonus structure of some kind. When you add those together and you compare to the collections, usually it's going to fall between 25 and 35%, with a little wiggle room on the outer ends of that can still be appropriate in some instances, not all instances. So the real trick and the real question is, what is the range in your specialty? What are you most comfortable with, capable of, and passionate about doing? And how do you identify finding the right facility, right place where you can work that is aligned with you? And then it's a win-win for everybody. Everybody's happy. You have a great work-life balance. You feel very well valued. You feel as very well compensated to the amount that you can justify based on the business model and based on what you're generating. Because of course, we generate our own salaries in essence with our patient care and our productivity, and that's how we're paid. That's where the money comes from. So the most important thing is to evaluate yourself, evaluate the practice, find the right match, and then look at that range and figure out what makes sense. Typically, it's going to be a percentage. The total compensation will be a percentage of the total collections, falling somewhere between 25 and 35%, depending on how high the collections are, how much total profit there is, depending on how much staff support, benefits, and how much autonomy and all those other things that the PA and NP can bring to the table. So I hope that helps answer at least a few questions about why asking about the average salary is never the right question to ask. Looking at the salary range is a much more appropriate question to ask, and then really evaluating yourself and the facility what's capable, what you want to be capable of, or what you most are passionate about, most enjoy, and what the facility will be capable of as far as the money that is going to be generated from your efforts. In turn, then you can negotiate for your income. So I hope that's helpful. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, team@certifiedpaconsulting.com. We are always manning that inbox, so we will answer your questions and point you in the right direction for other free videos. We have free webinars. We host a free FAQ question once a month where you can come and ask us anything. We also have on-demand courses. There is a cost for those. They do qualify for Category 2 CME, and you can work with our team of experts one-on-one individually to get some custom answers for your career, your life, and what's going on, your long-term goals, whether it is navigating your current role clinically, making a transition to non-clinical, starting a side hustle, renegotiating, all of those things, starting a business. We can help you with all of that. So feel free to check out our resources. Click the link in our show notes and make sure that you subscribe, click the subscribe, and share our YouTube channel with other PAs and NPs who you think might find our information valuable. We try and get a few videos out every single month to help PAs, NPs, and physicians better understand how to navigate their own personal professional journey and maximize their success and ultimate career fulfillment. All right, everybody, we'll see you on the next town hall.